So since my last video I've gained something like 70 subscribers, which is wonderful, but I'm just a little bit concerned that you're all expecting me to talk intelligently about serious topics every week. That's just not gonna happen. This week I'd like to talk about a book that I read recently which actually really inspired me, which I think will definitely become a classic of the 21st century. That's right, I'm talking about Nicholas Sparks' new book, the #1 New York Times bestseller, The Tired Cliché. The Tired Cliché is set in small-town North Carolina, where our protagonist, Bree, works on the goat farm that has been in her family for generations. If I had to describe Bree in one word, it would be attractive. That's the first thing the love interest notices about her anyway. He found her very attractive. He was suddenly reminded of how attractive he found her. He wondered how anyone could not find her attractive. Nicholas Sparks just has this incredible talent of rephrasing things without actually giving you any new information. I get the impression he was good at writing English essays in high school. Anyway, when the story starts, Bree is living an ideal life. Or so she thinks. She has a steady job that she enjoys, plenty of friends, and is just generally pretty happy. Little does she know that there is a hole in her life that cannot be filled by goats. Enter our hero, Jack Monterey, who has just moved into town and who has been looking for the love of his life for as long as he can remember. He's just never managed to meet the one. That all changes when he meets Bree though. He realises immediately that she's special. Although why, we never really find out. He persists in hanging around the farm and flirting with her, and even when she makes it clear that she's not interested, he proves what a dedicated, respectful guy he is by not listening. And it's a good thing too. It becomes clear pretty early on that they are meant to be together. For example, it is established that they would both make great parents. If that isn't a sign, then I don't know what is. On top of that, they are both totally perfect people. That's not true. Nicholas Sparks is a better writer than that. They are totally perfect people, except for the fact that they each have one fatal flaw that's always prevented them from settling down and getting married. Luckily, they can both easily see past each other's flaw, which means that they don't have to waste valuable pages on self-improvement and character development. That's not to say that they don't face any issues. There's a really riveting subplot in which Bree's family expect her to marry the son of a rival goat farmer, thus putting an end to 100 years of violence and bloodshed. I'm not joking when I say that at times this book comes close to being mildly suspenseful. For the most part, set over the course of 24 hours, this is truly an epic love story, marking the ins and outs of love in the 21st century. The really heart-wrenching bit of the story comes at the end, when the reader is transported forward 50 years to when Bree is dying of a severe form of cancer with almost no hope of recovery. This is the really beautiful bit. Against all medical evidence and contrary to everything the doctors said, Bree wakes up one morning miraculously cancer-free. A skeptic might say that competent medical care had something to do with it, but the truth is that it was the power of love. Excuse me, I'm just gonna need a minute to vomit. I'm sorry, could we just take a second here to talk about the guy who penned this glorious novel? There he is, Nicholas Sparks. That is his face. I am always really impressed that he is a real guy. I initially assumed that all of the books were mass-produced by some company. Nicholas Sparks isn't even a pseudonym, that is his real name. You, sir, were born to do this job. Anyway, The Tired Cliché, highly recommended, and if you don't want to read it, then that's okay because the movie has already gone into production, starring Taylor Swift with the soundtrack composed by James Blunt. I can't wait. I would apologise for this video being just a tad late, but I had to read actual Nicholas Sparks to make this, so no, I'm not sorry at all. The things I do for you, honestly. I'll see you guys next week, DFTBA.